There's a land where the mountains are nameless and the rivers run God knows where. There are lives that are erring and aimless, and deaths that just hang by a hair. There are hardships nobody reckons. There are valleys unpeopled and still. There's a land, and it beckons and beckons, and I want to go back, and I will. It is the morning of day 2. I expected to be about 40 kilometers downriver by now, but my trip got delayed in Whitehorse just because I guess the post-COVID thing, it's challenging to find people, and up north couldn't find someone to drive me until a day after I thought, and then I was late getting to the float plane base in Mayo, and that put me here quite a lot later yesterday because it turned out I had to wait for my flight. So, and then on top of that, I found out where my pickup is, and that's actually quite a ways down the Peel River, not at the mouth of the Bonnet Plume. So this is all adding more distance. I thought it was 350 kilometers. Now it's probably like 365. It cuts down my days. If I want to be at my pickup the day before, that only gives me 10 days to do the river. I slept in today, but I was planning on getting up early and going fishing, but then I basically stayed up late and went fishing and was really tired and decided to take a few more casts and just like slammed a bunch more grayling right here from the campsite. There were schools of 6 or 7 following my lure in right into 3 or 4 inches of water here. It was just absolutely phenomenal. The best grayling fishing I've ever experienced in my life for sure. All of them were tanks. So I don't know if I'll be able to not fish a little bit here and try the tributary this morning, but either way it's looking like I won't have a lot of time to do that, unfortunately. I'm gonna feel a lot better once I put a few clicks behind me and I get a feel for how fast the current is and how much time I can make on the river per day. Morning of day 2, man. Awesome spot. It's gonna be tough to leave this spot. I put my Goal Zero up, the solar panel. Not a lot of sun, but it's still gonna be doing something. I'm gonna strap that to the top of my canoe. Got the water on to boil. I had to get creative and put my ground pad around the stove because the wind will just blow all the heat away and you'll waste gas, and I gotta conserve gas. So now it's time to take down the tent and have my coffee, have some oatmeal, and get on the water. Got my barrel system. I have kind of these little buckets, and so I can organize different things, and it really reduces the amount of searching I'm doing in the food barrel. It's awesome. So the barrel straps and all these little doohickeys. This thing here holds my stove gas. You can put toilet paper in there or whatever. It's made by Recreational Barrel Works. Get this tent down. It's a lot of work making and breaking camp every morning, but I'm so used to it now. Oftentimes when I just spend 2 days at the same campsite, I just get bored. I feel like there's nothing to do. Unless of course it's like an epic fishing hole or something. A little tear in this morning. I wasn't a huge fan of the bag that this tent came in. You kind of have to like roll it and stuff. I just like to stuff my tent, and then putting it in a compression sack means it takes up a lot less space in your pack too. Looks like it might be starting to clear up, or we might get a patch of blue and then overcast again. I don't know. Today I'm stirring my coffee with the Cold Steel Outdoorsman fixed blade knife. We'll see if there's any difference compared to, knives I've used in the past. Oh, what a spot to have breakfast. I don't have my brother with me on this trip, which means that, the French press holds 2 coffees, so I made 2. Just so I can get that caffeine rush. Just kidding, but I'll probably drink 2. I wouldn't want to waste stove gas. Perfect. We'll have some portaging on this trip. If the water level's high, I might have one long portage. If it's not too high, I could probably run that one because it's not a waterfall. But either way, I'm probably going to have a couple portages, but not for some time. Coffee numero 2. Fortunately, it doesn't taste like numero 2. Oh, it's getting nice out. There's the sun. Look at that solar panel in the sun. Catch some rays. I'm bringing a large solar panel because I want to really reduce the amount of time I have to charge. When Ted and I were in Manitoba, we had tons of sun. We only had a 60 watt, but it was super sunny and we were traveling 12 hours a day in the blazing sun, so that really worked. I'll pull out some lunch. Just prevents you from having to dig to the bottom of your food barrel every time. It's magical. Got some sun. Oftentimes I've just used a carpenter's garbage bag, but I got this liner here. Recreational Barrel Works makes these, and they make packs that are sort of like a Duluth pack. Why not use it for my dry bag and just give myself that extra layer of waterproofing, because the carpenter's bags don't really last. I got the generator battery in a dry bag in the canoe, and then this out on top. I'm just going to tie it down with some parachute cord. And this waterproof panel here, doesn't matter if I dump or whatever, it won't get broken. That'll work. So now I go tie down the rest. Well, there's a little injury. My knife has a bone cracker on the back. When I went to slice the parachute cord to tie down the solar panel, it whacked there, and I didn't even notice it. It took me a while to figure out how it even happened, but because it's right on my joint, just doesn't want to stop bleeding. And my first aid kit is completely packed away, so looks like I'm gonna have to maybe just put a little spruce gum on it. Ideally, if you can get it when it's still gooey, that's better, so I'll have to heat this up. Don't ask me, I've seen this in a movie. Not the spruce pitch, the heroin spoon. It's gonna melt it down and let it cool a bit till it's sticky. And I'm just gonna put that spruce gum right on the cut. It works for deep cuts like stitches, like that you need stitches for. It hardens and then you wait a few days and it comes off and the cut will be healed. It's still challenging because of the part of my finger it's on, but I'll let that get into the cut. And my finger has officially stopped bleeding. That's not going anywhere. And I'm off. That took a while. Well, finally pushed off from camp. I've never really ran a system kind of like what I'm doing now. My way larger Nook case and more gear in the solar panel system, so it took me a long time to get it dialed in because I have a lot of shooting equipment, a lot of gear in general. That all means that I really should be getting on my way, but I just cannot resist taking a few casts at the mouth of this tributary. I saw the jawbone of what looks like probably about 5-pound lake trout, if not more. It looked like maybe a bald eagle had eaten it, and there's a bald eagle's nest just across the lake there too, so
I just figured maybe the Lakers are deeper, and if there are any, the Grayling get to the lure first. However, I thought I had one on, maybe about a 1 pounder yesterday. I checked the map and there's plenty of tributaries downriver. Usually what happens is that some of those tributaries can be murky, and I'm guessing this river is going to turn into sort of a gray color, basically the color that you see all the scree and the sand up in the mountaintops that runs down. But the Clearwater tributaries push into that silty river and create an eddy with the current they flow out on, and that eddy is clear. Bummer. So I just came around the corner, and looks like the mouth of the tributary comes in just downriver and not into Bonnet Plume Lake. Oh well, I can try fishing there, I guess. But yeah, I probably should have looked at the map beforehand. It's just from what I could see from my campsite, it looked like a good bet that it came out right here, but looks like it feeds the Bonnet Plume and not the lake here. Hope I'm not outgunned with this 6-pound test for big Lakers. It's crazy how much they were just feeding when it was really choppy. If they were feeding, I couldn't see anything, and once it got later on, they were biting like crazy until they were still biting like crazy when I went to bed around probably 1 a.m. The other cool thing is that, you know, the far end of this lake, the mountains there, those are the Mackenzie Mountains, and we're not far from the divide, and the divide is the border between the Yukon and Northwest Territories. So the mountain river, which I paddled, is not too much further of a flight than the one I just took, you know. So I don't know how much further it'd be, maybe even just 45 minutes further, and we would have been at Dusty Lake, which is where a lot of people start their trips down the mountain river. We started at Willow Handle and took a rushing Whitewater creek to meet the mountain, which would be a good bit further, but yeah, pretty cool. Getting some bites here. Maybe nothing big, but a few little taps. That definitely was a fish. Down pretty deep. Like some rain coming this way. Day can't make up its mind. Well, I gave it a good shot here on Bonnet Plume Lake, and it's just such a nice place. I kind of didn't want to leave. Didn't catch a lake trout, but you know, maybe that means there'll be some smaller ones downriver, so you never know. I did catch a couple nice ones on the Hess, and nothing seems to really be biting right now. It seems to be like they just go bonkers in the evening, and during the day it's going to be a little more challenging. It's not going to be like every cast like it was last night. So I'm excited to move on downriver and get on to the next step of this trip and start hitting some rapids. So can't wait to see what the Bonnet Plume River has in store. But yeah, ever since I got here, the weather's been kind of all over the map. Cold, really cold at night, and then it was hot for a while. I was sweating, and then cooled right down again. Snug as a bug. Yup, that's some rain. Here's that tributary. It must be the one I see. It's not very big. Sure sounds big when it's barreling down the mountain though. Oh yeah. Oh, it's something pretty good. Maybe it's a lake trout. Oh, I lost it. God damn it. That is such a bummer. Something brighter, something shiny to match these watercolors here, although Was having success on a Black Fury orange dot, but this is a dressed Meps Aglia 2 here. Wow, this is beautiful. Oh, got one. Wow, I just watched that come up and just crush my lure. That was exciting. Nice little grayling, baby. Ooh, God, they're still so big around here. Yeah. Well, we got one. I'll take that. I'll take it. Nice little tributary and a back eddy here. Well, that scared the bejeezers out of me. Nice little pocket here. Saw a couple fish, got a hit, got 2 hits. Had one on for a little bit. You see that? Hello, dinner. I'm gonna call you dinner. A little smaller than in the lake, but definitely a good eater. That wasn't really the bonnet plume proper. It actually feeds the bonnet plume, and I'm just pulling up to it right now. It looks kind of brown, definitely not as beautifully clear as this one. So I might just jump out and take a couple casts here and maybe bust out my gold pan. This is some black sand. Black sand is a good indicator of gold. So if you see creeks or deposits of black sand, it's worth dipping in a pan and seeing if you can get some gold. The thing is, you can, it's like with prospecting, is that, you know, you're going to spend more money than whatever gold you get to cover your expenses 9 times out of 10, but you never know when you might hit the mother lode. Some people say it's still out there. Wow, first cast here at the confluence, and I hooked into something pretty big. Try to wade it out of that current. Oh, it's another grayling. Just in the current it feels way stronger. It's a big one though. Woo! That's the biggest one yet. Yeah! Look at that beast. Look at that. Wow. Look at this beast again. Looks like we have potentially a little rapid coming up as this creek out of Bonnet Plume Lake meets the Bonnet Plume River proper. And I'm just taking a minute to clean up these 2 grayling here. This one I caught in the creek coming down, and then when I got here to the confluence of this creek and the Bonnet Plume, I just started catching tanks like it's crazy. They're just in the swift current, in the shallows, in the eddies. Like, they're not just in the eddies, they're like all over the place basically. Because I can't eat nearly as many as I can catch here, you just got to be careful how you release them. As soon as you see blood pouring out of the gills, you might as well keep that, because if you release it, it's going to die. So I figured I should keep a couple because I'm relying on fish for food. So I'm just scaling this one out here. Some crazy huge wolf prints. Man, I've made like terrible time today just getting all my outfit dialed in. So there's dinner, baby. Look at that. 2 chunky grayling. I don't even know what time it is. My only clock is on my GPS and it takes a while to boot up, so I don't know if that's making me go faster or slower. Probably slower. Maybe I'll dip a pen in and see if I can get some gold. That'd be cool. Probably a gold fleck right there. I mean, they say gold is best found in black sand, so I mean, there's a chance there's just really small particles of gold dust that we're looking at right here. Can't stake any claims here really, or commercially pen, I don't think, because of the Nacha Nyack Dun have gone through leaps and bounds, a 15-year process to protect this whole area from roads and mining development, which is just freaking awesome. Thank you to them. 15-year battle, went back and forth, and then they basically won to protect a large amount of the area in the Canadian Supreme Court. And I think this is definitely one of those places that's worth more than money when it's in a state of true wilderness. It's not just the mountains. You think you're going to get fishing this good anywhere close to a road? Absolutely not. So, you know, that's just one thing, let alone the wildlife that I've already been seeing. So, you know what, picking up a couple little gold nuggets on my way downriver would be a sweet little souvenir, and also might help pay for my trip. A relatively small gold nugget can be worth $500. You know, you get a couple of them, you got $1,000. You know, that's probably pretty rare, but you never know. But anyways, it is raining and cold, and I got a lot of river to paddle, so I better start moving. Say goodbye to what very well could be the best fishing part of the trip. However, it's looking like this is going to be a pretty good fishing trip in general, but man, tough to beat that. Got a little rapid coming up here, more of just a swift. I'm going to try to put in a few more hours on the river here. Well, this river is just screaming along. That's great news. So the high water might make the rapids tougher, but it's looking like it's going to make it faster. It's making me feel a little more confident that I'll be able to make it in time and not have like a complete rushed trip. It's like a class 1 and then maybe a class 2 at the end. Wow, mountains here are just incredible. Might actually be a little more maneuverable than my Royal X Nova Cross Prospector. Swift's just whipping me along here. Come up on you, man. This river's pushy. Well, we are just coming up on our first rapid of the adventure. It's been rainy and cold, unfortunately, for a while, but I'm still just having fun. River's picked up a lot since I got off the creek from Bonnet Plume Lake and into the Bonnet Plume River. Current's been ripping pretty good, so I'm making decent time. Hopefully, maybe, who knows, maybe I'll still be able to bang off my daily distance today, which is about 35 clicks, but I'm gonna run a rapid right now. Should be fun. Looks like maybe a class 1, maybe a class 2. Pretty straightforward, but you always want to be prepared, so. Let me go for it. Wow, this is so cool. Probably not the best line, but fun enough. Yes, buddy. That was fun. Tough to really scout this whole canyon, so I'm guessing just from the drop of the river here that it's going to be you know, class 1s and 2s. I'm having to run them and then peel out at the first eddy I see and sort of check over my shoulder. Get out and scout the next one or scout from the boat, but we're gonna keep going here and see what's in front of us. I see some squirrely looking stuff up there. I'm terrified. Here we go. You got this, Jim. You got this. Kind of a blind corner here. I'm gonna keep my stern into shore, but it's rocky on the right. Pretty serious, man. Looks kind of like a class 3. That was awesome! The rapids aren't super advanced, but if you dumped in there, you'd be very hard pressed to get your boat to shore, and you have to swim this entire rapid. You probably smash your boat, wrap it around a boulder or something. So, and I was honestly just getting physically tired because the canoe got a lot of weight in it. You got to really work to move that to dodge a boulder. So this is way crazier than what I read in the trip report, and they said they had high water. So this is almost, a couple of those rapids are pretty close to class 3. They're saying 1s and 2s, so pretty freaking epic. So beautiful too. Anyways, I'm gonna jump out and have a look because right now this is a completely blind corner. Need to stretch the old legs too. Blind corner right there. Looks like it's runnable. We have more down there. Jesus. Wow, this is crazy. It's not just that the rapids are like class 2 to class 2 plus and little bits of 3. It's just that in between the rapids, there is no in between the rapids. It's all a rapid. It's all really pushy class 1s, a ripping fast swift at the least. Man, it's tiring, and there's another completely blind corner up there, so I think I'm gonna boot it down to there and just keep my fingers crossed that I could run that part too. And that, you know, one thing I'm gonna scout for is if there's an eddy, so I can eddy. If I take in water, I can bail. That's pretty important. Man, it's not a nice day. It's cold and windy, and that actually makes it more dangerous to run rapids, because if you dump, you can get hypothermia. This water is freezing cold. When I'm bushwhacking like this, I make sure my True Flare pen launcher and bear banger are there. I'm not gonna haul my shotgun here. I also have bear spray on me, but if something comes up in the bush, I can access that. Right now I'm just keeping it in my life jacket zipper pocket there. So once I'm down the most of the rapid, I might eddy out there and take a look at what's around the next corner. I'm gonna head back to the canoe, bail any remaining water, and head out. Hey Bear! Hey Bear! Bear! All right, here we go. I'll get out of here eventually. Woo! I'm doing it! Woo! I'm gonna jump out, have another peek around this blind corner, and bail. Well, picking my way down this Whitewater canyon on the Bonnet Plume, and it is full of surprises, man. Like, I'd read a trip report that said there was a canyon with 1s and 2s. This is more intense than what they dealt with for sure, and which kind of concerns me. It makes me wonder how many other rapids are more challenging, and when the river's so pushy and sometimes the eddies are blown out, it can be hard to get over to shore, but I'm managing to do it. I ran the first part and it started terrifying me because I was going around too many blind corners. Did pretty well, a couple rough parts there. One of them actually I came in to eddy out and then scout over my shoulder and eddy back in, if anything, just to make sure I stayed right. But I actually hit my bow, touched the rock on the front of the eddy, which spun me around, and then I paddled my stern into the eddy, and I guess I could have kept back paddling and eddied out, but it was perfect, and I just kept going, and it just created me to avoid everything. I just did a 180, so it wasn't entirely intentional. So a couple little things that were a little sloppy, but I feel like that's all I needed to just like get on point, because definitely I can handle this level of rapid. But when I'm out here alone, it's a lot scarier too, because there's no one to help you. There's no one to throw you a throw bag. There's no one to help swim your canoe to shore, etc., etc. So it adds a whole extra level of challenge and fear to everything, running rapids out here alone in such a remote area. Look what we have here, a trail. Hard to follow. Hey Bear! But it looks like it's a portage trail and a game trail, both at the same time. So this way would be to scout the blind corner, and this way would be to portage. And that kind of tells me whatever's around the corner is probably pretty challenging, since people portage it. On some remote wilderness rivers, you can see remnants of trails that haven't been used since the 1940s or earlier still. And oftentimes when people were traveling with all their livelihood or their families, or a lot of money in furs or even gold nuggets, it wasn't worth risking running anything. Bit of a bushwhack. Hey Bear! Hey Bear! Some berries out here, so looks like we're home free, at least for the short term. I think this is manageable. Couple boldies. That's a canoe crusher. That's all I could see from upriver, so that's why I was a little nervous, but looks like plenty of room to pass it on the right. Hopefully we're home free and Jim will have survived another one. That big boulder and those waves and hole there is all I could see from upriver, so that's why I decided to come and scout, because it looked kind of sketchy. I got 2 boulders upriver. One's a sketchy pinning one, but really it's only a class 1 through here, maybe a class 2 where those boulders are. So, and it looks like we're pretty much out of the canyon and the Whitewater in this stretch anyways. So as long as I can make it down here, it looks like old Jim will survive another day. No problem. Wow, we got some more of this, believe it or not. I don't know if I would have made it down the whole way without bailing at least once, but would have made some pretty good time, probably whether I tipped or not. Ooh, we got another one. Looks like a class 1 here. Although the boulders that there are harder to avoid because the current pushes you towards them so quickly. Looks like just a fun one here though. Oh, that's in a canyon too. Major blind corner. No eddy. Maybe I can cheat my way down this side slaw here. That looks pretty intense. Only a little slot where you can make it over. God. Yeah, it's just the gravel bar came up to just a tiny pinch. Yeah, the other thing is the one that I'm skirting right now, no real way to scout it. I'm gonna go take a peek around the corner here. I cut around the side slaw to avoid a gnarly looking rapid, and it looks like there's something else that I'm gonna head right into, so I'm gonna go have a look. You know, I probably could have ran that, but it's a class 3, but looking from it here where I pulled up and then I'd have to like pull back up river, what's the point? Why take an unnecessary risk when I could just walk it through the side slaw? But it appears this canyon was not over, it was merely taking a break. Cool little waterfall pouring down it there. But yeah, we got some more pushy current class 1s. I walked down to look around the corner again and she's still going, so won't get time to relax yet. Here's the side slaw I pulled around. So I guess I'm gonna try to drag down here, jump into this eddy and go. Good sun! Wow, that is beautiful. Look at that. What I just did there was I just surfed that little wave there for a bit, and then I front ferried, shot me right over so I can look at this. I don't hear any rushing water ahead. I think we might be out of the thick of it for today anyways, but can't even look at the map for 2 seconds on this part of the river here. Wow, that looks incredible. Holy smokes. Lord of the Rings right there. As soon as I pulled out the camera, the sun on those mountains went away, but still pretty awesome. This is a little more relaxing here. Current's strong but not scary. But there's a nice gravel bar here, and I've only gone like 13K today. A bit more if you count all the bends, but not even half of what I was supposed to do. But since I got such a late start because of figuring out all the boat loading and fishing and trolling and panning for gold and lily dipping, I might stop here. I'm gonna check the time. Might be a decent fishing hole. Looks like a decent enough place to camp and absolutely beautiful. So, but first I gotta wade to shore because I blew it and ran myself up on a gravel bar. Shallow, but I bet you anything there's some grayling in here considering Everything's loaded around here. Only thing is, not a ton of wood around here. Not a nice day. The good weather was fighting with the bad weather, and the good weather lost big time. It's freezing cold. Well, not freezing, but can't imagine it's 10 degrees even. Every shot in the... Well, I guess first things first, set up the tent and get that over with. This is my Boreal 21 folding saw by Agawa Canyon. You can actually buy it through the link in my bio, and I get a percentage of the sales. Awesome little folding saw, and it just lasers through wood. One of the good things about it is, well, there's different blade options, so you know, you can't necessarily judge a saw just by the blade. Those are kind of two different things, but Agawa offers a really good blade. It's called the Aggressive Sydney Rancher, and the reason this is good is because there's no rakers, which means it's great for dry wood. Rakers are just little things in between the teeth that kick the sawdust out and prevent your saw from sticking, and that's more for wet wood or damp wood. Well, most of the time when you're camping, you're cutting dry wood for firewood, and that's what I like about this. So it just lasers through stuff pretty good. Anyways, yeah, I'm feeling a little headachy. I don't know if I managed to get dehydrated already. Tonight maybe I'll drink something warm, some tea, some hot chocolate. I think I brought hot chocolate. I don't know, I should have. And get a fire going and cook up those 2 Grayling and call it a night. It's probably going to be fairly late night again because it's probably about 8 right now, 8:30 even. Anyways, yeah, I'll just hoping to get more done tomorrow, kilometers wise. It took 3.5 hours to do roughly 12 kilometers. So, you know, I was getting out of the boat and scouting a lot through that canyon, but you know, I'll have other things to scout and portages even, which means, you know, I have probably about 350 kilometers left. I think I'll be able to do it. I just got to put in some longer days on the river. I'm still a smidge concerned. However, the current is ripping fast, so keeps up like this, it'll make things a lot easier. Anyways, I'm gonna go get some wood. Should do it. Well, just time to get fire going and find a little baby duckling and just punch it in the face. Just kidding. Wow, I'm already starting to lose it. It's only day 2.